have any union folks rallying against your party here?
Well, it's early. They might come out to the fair. I don't know.
Madigan said yesterday that you've been talking to Quinn and you're supposed to talk to him again tomorrow morning. What are you telling him about the pension bill?
You know, I talked to the governor. We all had a meeting about 2 months ago. We had 2 meetings, and then I saw the governor once he did a bill signing in Plainfield. We haven't had a meeting. My understanding is tomorrow we're all going to get together. This is a statewide problem. A bipartisan solution needs to come together. So we're all going to meet together. I'm not sure what the speaker's up to.
Well, he seems to put the pressure on you, saying depending on what you say to the governor and what your conversations are, that'll determine if there's a vote on Friday.
Let's just kind of cut to the chase here. Let's quit the games. And then this is kind of the old Mike Madigan school. We've read the book. We've seen the movie. This is a problem that we all need to solve. And everyone needs to be an adult. Everybody needs to get in a room and work it out. I think we should have been in a room working it out weeks ago. We didn't. We'll be there tomorrow. We're willing to stay as long as it takes. This is very serious. That approach that the speaker used is really one of the reasons we're in this mess. It's politics after politics after politics. I'm not in the mood for that. I want to get it solved. Am I going to talk to the governor? Yes, but I plan on talking to Mike, John, and Chris to resolve a very, very big problem. I'm getting, I think his approach is a little disingenuous and frankly just a little sad.
How many Republican votes are there in the Cullerton pension?
We're going to have a caucus tomorrow, but we believe that we need to do something substantive and we need to do something real. And this nibbling around the edges and then claiming we have pension reform and we fixed it, again, is an old playbook. We saw it with campaign finance. We saw it with workers' compensation. We want something real. I think we have one shot at it. It was interesting. There was a fellow here from Rhode Island at the NCSL event last week who was involved in their pension reform. He said, you can really get one shot at this. You might as well, and you better do it right. And that's our approach. If we do something that nibbles around the edges, we're done with pensions for a while. And I feel very strong about the fact that we need to do it right.
And the governor said, maybe instead put 30 votes, Republican votes, 30 Democratic votes in the Necrets bill. I think that's going to fly tomorrow.
Well, I don't even know if it's up tomorrow. I think that all we're talking about is the bill that shaves off $3 billion off the unfunded liability of somewhere between 85 and 130. So it doesn't do a whole lot. The Necrets bill, we're not interested in a bill that raises property taxes on suburban and downstate voters in a pretty significant way. I think people in the state have been taxed enough, and we're going to stand up to that.
Did you feel any sympathy yesterday for Quinn, given the way he was treated?
I'm not, those are his politics. I found it ironic, again, kind of the way the speaker spins things and plays things. He talks about the problem that Quinn inherited. If I'm not mistaken, those number of years when Blagojevich here, the speaker was the speaker, and I don't think any bill passed the House, any budget passed the House, any borrowing bill passed the House, any shorting of the pension system passed the House without his leadership and support. So, it's a tough day as an elected official for him, and I feel for him, but he's got to deal with his politics. That's not our issue.
We're about to take a vote tomorrow on an issue that hasn't been done in 100 years. Still a member of the House.
Well, we'll get through that. I think it's sad, and I don't take any joy in it. I don't relish it. No one on our side's going to get all excited and jump up and down and take some victory lap. It's a sad state of affairs. It's sad that we have to even get to this point. It's kind of an indictment on somewhat of our process that this even happened. But get through it, and then let's focus on the real issue. I mean, the issue of the day is how we're going to fund the worst funded pension system fixed in the country, and then we got to get it done.
What's the politics of this pension thing? Do you think that you'll be able to make gains because of your politics here? Do you think that you'll be able to pick up some seats, or do you think you could even have a chance of knocking Madigan off?
Who knows? I do know that people are very disgusted. They're very frustrated. People aren't working. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in the Midwest. We have billions of bills that haven't been paid, the highest tax increase in the history of the state, and now they're talking about what in effect would be a property tax increase. I don't think people are happy with that. I don't know the politics of the pension.
Well, sure you do. I mean, you're involved in politics all the time.
No, look, I don't know. Are people happy about it? I know people aren't happy, but I think we've moved into this era, and rightly so, where other states have, of confronting huge problems that need to be confronted, as painful as they are. Other states around us and around the country have done it. We haven't done that, and people may be, I think, frustrated and angry about that because I think versus a year ago, people now know we have a problem. I'm not sure they did a year ago. So the elected official that's willing to confront that, as painful it is and as uncomfortable it is, I think people they want people to be shooting straight with it.
So who's the obstructionist in this? The Democrats really paint you as that.
We've been talking about pensions for over 2 years. I've got bill after bill I filed. We at the last day of session, after the working group had said no to this cost shift property tax, mysteriously shows up in a bill 10 minutes before committee. It's clear the speaker doesn't want to do this. The president doesn't want to do it. I think the governor, to his credit, wants to do something. So it's funny, you got two guys that don't want to do it, and one guy that really doesn't know how to do it, and it gets very, very difficult to accomplish that. We have said from day one, put us in a room, throw away the key, let's get it done, and we'll stay that way. We just have a very, very real problem with a shift to suburban and downstate property taxpayers. And ironically enough, not ironically, I think it's safe to say there are Democrats that share that concern in the General Assembly and are on record, and many of your papers on radios, et cetera, have said the same thing. So this isn't just a political ploy on the Republican side. We think it's, you've got, let's remember that it was back in 2005 that Mike Madigan and Rod Blagojevich partnered to not make a pension payment to the tune of about $4 billion. It really exacerbated this problem to a real significant point. And so, to then come to us and say, hey, let's fix this on the backs of property taxpayers, it's just unacceptable.
You got to think that trans.
What's the harm in voting the Cullerton bill out tomorrow and coming back to the rest later?
Because we won't come back. We'll be done. The day that becomes law, there'll be a lawsuit, and it will be mired in the court system for months, if not years, and everybody will say, whoops, can't do anything. We got to let that court system play out. And then there'll be the people that say, well, we did it, we're done with pension reform. It doesn't get the job done.
You got to think. Wall Street will let you forget about the rest of it. I mean, the pressure is from the bond houses, partly, isn't it?
Well, look, we had folks a year ago say that we had done comp reform. Not only did rates not go down, they've gone up. So I've watched this body ignore real problems, even when the business community and the financial community said you got to do stuff. We have a leadership on the Democrat side has a very has an ability to ignore the obvious in a lot of ways. And this is for them about politics. They don't want to irritate the unions. The unions are their biggest financial supporters, their biggest supporters of elections, and that's the bottom line here. They don't want to upset the unions.
It seems like they've already done that.
I think yesterday was a lot about the closures. That's my sense of yesterday, and I don't. There may be a touch of pensions in there. My sense then, I wasn't here. Sorry I missed it, but it was a big deal, and I think I can understand why about the closures.
Hey, you got to think though that your stance of let's do pensions now is going to play well with voters, and that it's going to translate into pickups at the polls.
How about it just needs to happen?
Well, how about
Ray,
how about do you think your political stance will also help you on election day?
My position today is no different than it's been for the last 2 years. We need to do pension reform. We were kind of on an island by ourselves 2 years ago. There weren't a lot of people saying, hey, good job, you filed a pension reform bill. So this isn't new for us. We've been at the table, we've been pushing it. It wasn't a lot of fun 2 years ago, so this isn't new for us. And to Chris's point, the bond houses want something done, and I think it sends a strong message to the rest of the country, the business community, taxpayers. Hey, they finally did what they needed to do. Let's hope they get the job done on the other side.
Forgive me if this came up earlier, Leader, but yesterday the Speaker spoke with us, and maybe 6 times in that 5 minutes he said, the important thing to remember is the Governor and Tom Cross have been talking. What do you think he means by that?
I think this is typical Michael J. Madigan. I want someone else to take the responsibility here. I don't want to take responsibility. I think Mike needs to look in the mirror and accept the fact that he has been here for 40 years, and every single problem we have has his fingerprints on it. From partnering with Rod Blagojevich 5 years ago to not making a pension payment, to the tax increase, to the business policy, to the fact that unemployment is at the highest it's in the Midwest, higher than almost any other state, the debt, the bills we haven't paid, the list goes on and on. Accept some responsibility. We all need to act like adults, quit the politics, and get this done.
Well, you have said call us back day after day, 7 days a week. I seem to remember that phrase from the not lamented but departed Blagojevich in 2007, 2008. Call us here every day, 7 days a week. To build on Ray's point, I mean, maybe that sounds good to people who are frustrated, but that's really realistically not going to happen. Is it really?
Why can't it happen? Why can't that happen? Why can't that happen? As I just said to Ray, we've been talking about pensions for 2 years. Why can't the governor simply say to Mike and John, we got a problem? He says he wants to fix it. The governor wants to do it in a comprehensive manner. It'd be nice if his own teammates would help him get across the finish line. We're willing to help. This has to be done in a bipartisan manner. All of us at the table, put the politics aside, and be done with it.
Well, that's November 7th, right? Or January 1, right?
I think we should do it now.
Hey, Tom, this is when the kind of the beauty pageant starts. You're going to see a little bit of the gubernatorial race. I mean, how do you size up your party's chances of knocking on the win? And what do you think of the field out there of people so far?
Oh, I think it'll be a strong field. I think it'll be a healthy field. I think there's some really talented people that are talking about running for governor. I think the dysfunction you're seeing in this state right now by the leadership there's a very good opportunity for Republicans. So, it's a long time to end. I think there's a presidential race that we're going to have to see how that plays out in the next few months, and then we'll worry about it. But I think there's some really talented, bright people looking at governor, and I'm excited about it.
Does the party need some new faces to get in the race?
We've got some really nice-looking old faces, and I think there's some newer faces coming along. And at the right time, I'll let you know where I am. But I'm excited about the folks that are talking about it, and they're bright, they're articulate, they're policy driven, and that's what we need in the state right now.
What do you
thought
say
about running
about
for governor yourself?
No. What do you say though about the problem the party always seems to get into with the far right kind of coming in and taking the party away from the center?
It's been an issue, but the reality is we've kind of worked through it. I look at what's going on in our races, and we've got a lot of folks from the far right to the middle to the left that are working with us. People are discussing with what's going on. This is a time. This is all about finances, about the budget, about the pension, and they want that. They want people to work. They want people to pay their mortgages. They want people to have jobs. And you're seeing folks come together on that issue. They're discussing the taxes, and I think you're seeing this party unify and come together and realizing we need to if we're going to have success.
Is Aaron Schock your candidate if he gets in?
Well, let's see who the candidates are.
Do you think you can get some counties in Illinois to go for Romney this year that didn't? That went for Obama last time, like in the suburbs.
Oh yeah, I think you're going to see a different election in Illinois, and I think you're going to see a pretty good showing by Romney. Look, he's going to do very well in the city. We know that, but I think you're going to see some. I don't think you'll see the type of results in the collar counties and downstate you saw last time.
Why do you think Romney's going to do well in the city where Obama comes from?
No, I said that Obama.
Oh, excuse me. I misunderstood.
I mean, I can't even spin that one.
You're going to have to lean on
No, look, Obama will win the city, but I think you're going to see Romney do well outside the city. I think you'll see him do very well.
I apologize if you covered this, but real quickly, you're meeting with the governor tomorrow? Is that
with all four leaders?
No, just you.
No, with all four leaders.
All 4 leaders. What time is that?
I'm gonna call the speaker's office and ask him what time it's set. I'm not sure.
So you optimistic, or you think that's just a show, or what might come?
In an ideal world, the governor would have brought us back together the last 2 months because we haven't met, but he didn't. So we'll work off tomorrow, and we'll see what happens, and we're committed to trying to get it done.
Do you have any new thoughts to bring to the table, new ideas that might break things
up? I've talked to him about repeatedly some of the reform ideas on the benefit side we think we need to do. He's acknowledged that. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
What do your members say about the possibility of a special session when there are many of them running for president?
Well, they know we need to get stuff done, and they want to correct the ship. We had a hearing in Chicago the other day, and when you look at the Moody standards and the GASB standards, this thing is even more of a problem than we've talked about over the last few months or last years. That unfunded liability number could be closer to 130, 140. So everyone knows it's a problem. So why we keep putting it off?
Great, thanks, leader.